Well, Andy, they've made a bit of a pig's ear of this NatWest. Frankly, the fact that Dame Alison Rose, it took her so long to admit that she was the leak, even though it was pretty obvious it had to be her. What should NatWest be doing now? In particular, of course, Coutts as well, because she's gone, but she's only gone because she sort of spilled some information. But the whole scenario, what about the head of Coutts as well?
Well, I think it's a very interesting one. It's been a disaster from a crisis comms point of view for NatWest and Coutts from the very start. I don't think this is going to be the last head to roll. I don't think the whole board and the board of directors is going to go. I think it's going to stop very soon. I think that they made a mistake at the very start, and we always say in crisis comms, there's no golden bullet. The golden bullet is telling the truth. They fudged it that he was kicked out because of his lack of wealth, and that was clearly not the case. And they should have just been honest and said, you know what, we don't agree with his views and we don't agree with his standpoints, and therefore we're asking him to leave our bank. Which, as we all know, banks have done this for years. It's nothing new. It's just that they've kind of been caught fibbing about this one.
Well, it wasn't wise. So, from a point of view of crisis management, now they've done what they've done and not what they should have done. What should they do next?
Well, they need to try and get ahead of the story, and that's why I think probably another big name is going to be given the Spanish Archer, as we say in PR. So I think someone else is going to go, and then I think they're going to try and hope that the sort of banking community rally round them at the minute. At the minute, they're a bit of a toxic brand. Other banks will be looking on, sort of shaking their heads at how it's been handled.
Because there's a few other names in the fray here. You've got Sir Howard Davis, who's responsible for the overall governance of the bank, and then you've got Peter Flavel, who is the Coutts CEO. Would he be the right person to go? One of those two. Peter Flavel, I mean, he's in charge of Coutts. All of this is down ultimately to him. When whatever hits the fan, should he be the one to go next? Coutts shouldn't be behaving in that manner, surely.
Well, usually it is a big name at CEO level. If we look back at various crises over the years, such as BP, it's the CEO who's sort of fallen on their sword. And obviously they've tried to do this with this bungled messaging overnight, the dreaded vote of confidence, which she got. And then obviously, even before the markets opened, even the way it was announced was strange. Usually for a listed FTSE company, they'd announce it just before sort of 8 o'clock, before the markets opened. But I think this was announced around 1 a.m., which shows it was really fudged from start to finish.
Well, it was desperate, really. And ironically, Sir Howard Davis, who is the guy who's responsible for the overall governance of the bank, had said that the board had total confidence in this woman. And then eventually they got rid of her. But they'd also doubled her salary. So even the optics of her £5.2 million salary doesn't look great. And then what he had said initially when he said that we're confident in her decision had suggested that he was going to do something to affect her bonus. I think what people want to hear, do you think they'd be wise to perhaps do something about the bonus or pension or something? Because this bank is largely owned by the taxpayer. We are the largest shareholder. And I think, surely there should be more for this woman who's messed up so badly.
Well, I think what we want as consumers is consequences, isn't it? We're living through some really tough times financially at the minute. Every customer of NatWest will be struggling to a certain degree. And I think it's really hard to see that somebody that's made, a catastrophic error in their job still have bonuses in the millions being talked about. Now, obviously, if we'd not done very well in our job, we'd probably be out on our ear. So it doesn't seem right that there aren't consequences, for people who make mistakes like this.